So the first thing we need to do is we need to know how the principal is gotten. When we looked at sum of angles in a quadrilateral, we saw how we came about sum of angles in a quadrilateral equals to 360 degrees. So let's see how to come about sum of angles in a triangle. Now, if I have a quadrilateral, a rectangle in this form, we saw that each angle of this rectangle is equal to 90 degrees, 90 degrees, 90 degrees, 90 degrees. Okay, that was what we agreed on. Sum of angles in a quadrilateral is equal to 90 degrees, is equal to 360 degrees because each angle is equal to 90 degrees. But now this quadrilateral can be divided into two along the diagonal. So if I divide this quadrilateral into two along the diagonal, I'm going to get two triangles. Let's call this triangle A and triangle B. This means a quadrilateral can be divided to give us two triangles, right? Let's continue. Looking at this angle here, initially it was 90 degrees, but when it was split into two, this means this side is 45 degrees, this side is 45 degrees. Also, over here, this diagonal line split this 90 degrees into two. Therefore, here is 45 degrees, here is 45 degrees. So if we decide to wipe off this second triangle is off. We now have one triangle. Let's see the sum of angles in a triangle. This triangle here is 90 degrees, so we have 90 degrees plus this angle here is no longer 90 degrees but 45 degrees, so we have 45 degrees. This angle here is now 45 degrees, so we have 45 degrees. So 90 degrees plus 45 degrees plus 45 degrees gives us 180 degrees. Therefore, we can say that the sum of angles in a triangle is equal to 180 degrees. So sum of okay. So this is how we know that the sum of angles in a triangle is equal to 180 degrees. It's not gotten by guesswork, it's just through this means, okay? So sum of angles in a triangle is equal to 180 degrees. So we can use this principle to find a missing angle when the other two angles are known. Remember, a triangle has three angles. So when you know two angles, you can find the missing angle using this principle here. So let's solve an example. So we want to find the value of Q in this particular question. So we have already found out that the sum of angles in a triangle is equal to 180 degrees. This means this angle plus this angle plus this angle is going to give you 180 degrees. So let's write that down. Q plus 42 degrees plus 73 degrees is equal to 180 degrees. So what's 42 degrees plus 73 degrees? What do we have? 115 degrees. So we have 115 degrees is equal to 180. So moving 115 degrees to the right, we have Q is equal to 180 degrees minus 115 degrees. Therefore, Q is equal to 65 degrees. So let's look at another example. So here we are expected to find the value of x in this triangle here. We know that the sum of angles in a triangle is equal to 180 degrees. Therefore, when we add these three angles, we are expected to get 180 degrees. So x plus 51 degrees plus 98 degrees is equal to 180 degrees. So 51 plus 98, what do we have? 51 plus 98, 149 degrees. So x plus 149 degrees is equal to 180 degrees. So moving this over to the right, we have x is equal to 180 degrees minus 149 degrees. So 180 minus 149 is going to give us 31. So x is equal to 31 degrees. Very good. So this is quite easy actually. Let's try out one classwork and then we go to the next subtopic.